Hello everybody and welcome to week 6 of the ENC Draft League Season 5. This week we're up against Winterville Weavile, who was actually the only team to take a game off of me last season. I didn't lose a set at all, but he was the only player to take a game off me, which is really impressive. He used a Encore Disable Sableye to basically completely shut down, well not completely shut down because I had plays around it, but I just didn't expect it at all. So it caught me off guard game 1, game 2 and 3 I adapted to it. It was still a really clutch play on his part, so this is going to be an exciting match, I think. And I think he's actually got one of the best teams in the league. I think this is a very powerful team. The team is Tapu Koko, landorus-t, Iron Moth, Alomomola, Iron Leaves, Iron Jugulus, Bronzong, Cyclizar, my guy, Lapras, and Spidops. So immediately he's got Tapu Koko plus 3 future Paradox Pokemon. Very powerful. And they're all like, it's not like he's just stacking Paradox Mons. Iron Moth is a great Mon, even when it has to use booster energy, but, you know, fire types that can't hold boots or don't want to hold boots, kind of poopy. It can hold boots here for free, no downside at all, because it has electric terrain. This guy, completely just terrible, right, without electric terrain. Its move gets a 50% power boost in electric terrain, but the only way they actually get electric terrain normally is through Pincurchin or manual setting it with the move. Which is terrible. So having a way to actually boost it helps this guy defeat the Psychic Grass allegations of mediocrity. And then he didn't even initially have this on the team. He just needed a Dark type, and I'm like, hey, what about Iron Jugulus? And it just kind of slotted in very nicely. It's got good stats, you know, it can use the terrain boost even though it's flying, which is nice. Yeah. The only thing is that, like, Alomomola is a great pivot and a great, like, cleric, but this team is not quite bulky enough to fully utilize it. Landorus gets some nice bulk, especially when you invest into it, but, like, a lot of these guys are pretty frail and kind of just want to be, like, fully invested in their offensive and speed stats. Bronzong appreciates it. Bronzong doesn't have any way of healing. Lapras appreciates it. That's the big thing about Lapras. I don't think Lapras is very good compared to something like my Lantern that I had. Well, actually, Lantern is not amazing either. But the niche of Lapras is that it has Water Absorb, right? Which is like something for my Palafin or for some other water types in the league. Which is kind of the exact same reason I took Lantern last season. However, Lantern, well, Lapras, I don't like Steel on a Terra because, you know, you're still weak to fighting. That's kind of not very good. And, like, skipping ahead a little bit, if the Lapras comes as a Palafin check, I've got Ice Punch for Terra Dragon, and I've got Close Combat for Terra Steel, and then the other one is Terra Water, where it has to keep all of its, you know, electric and grass weakness. Anyway, the main guys up here, very strong core. Alomomola it's honestly, more so than a cleric, on this team I expect to see it used as a pivot, you know, something that comes in, takes, like, you know, minimal amount of damage, then flip turns out after they have attacked or switched, so you get to react to what they do. And then you heal it all back with Regenerator. Into my team, I think I expect to see Tapu Koko. I expect to see Tapu Koko every week. I don't think this team really has a reason to not bring Tapu Koko. I think you have to bring it, right? I also expect to see Tyranitar, or not Tyranitar, Landorus for my Tyranitar and my Garchomp. It's his best switch in alongside Alomomola. I expect to see both of them as... Sorry about that. One of my friends was asking to spectate, so I said I'd send a link once we start. As I was saying, I expect both these guys to come. I think you just really want defensive pivots. Into something like Mega Garchomp, you really want to bring a ground immunity, and landorus-t is one of the best there is, especially into a physical attacker. And you've got Intimidate to weaken its other moves, and then the ground immunity is great. Great into T-Tar. Obviously, you don't like losing your item, but, you know, if that item's a Rocky Helmet, you get some good chip on. And then You're not resist rock, but, you know, you're a flying type that isn't weak to rock, which is, like, really good synergy between these two, right? Like, the ground types, you know, flying types want to switch in, and then flying types do not want to switch in on the rock type. Landorus can kind of do the best of both. This guy's just a great... I don't actually have very amazing ways of hitting water types. Palafin, honestly, the Lapras isn't even needed when you have this guy. Like, this guy just walls the water types really well. So, yeah. Next up, I do expect to see Iron Leaves, and that's probably the one I'm most afraid of. Iron Leaves is actually really good into my team. The only thing is that Volcarona, if he ever goes for a grass move, I can switch in Volcarona and try and burn it, which might be my best way of dealing with it. But if he reads that and goes for the Psychic Sword move, Psyblade, It one-shots Volcarona in electric terrain, so I have to be very careful about that. Then the last slot is the flat slots are kind of up in the air. I could see Lapras coming for this, but I honestly think the Alomomola handles Palafin well enough for him, so he might not do the Lapras, which would free up. I don't really expect Spidops. I know Sigtrick helps Tekka a lot, and I know Sigtrick said that he didn't think Hazards were even very good into my team, because, like, I've got or at least webs, right? That's the big thing Spidops is for. This guy gets boosted by webs, this guy's flying, this guy wears boots, and then these guys are already all slower than his fast guys, right? Every single one of these guys faster than, like, these top 4. Except for Kilowattrel, which is slower than these 3 guys in terrain. So web's not necessary. I could see Jugulus coming as, like, you know, a flying type for Amoonguss, and potentially a check for Corsola. I could see this guy coming, but this guy is not necessarily guaranteed to come because Garchomp is really good into it, and Palafin can also revenge kill it at any point with Jet Punch. So I do think it's going to be either these 2 or something like this, maybe. I don't really expect to see these 3. Maybe Bronzong for Garchomp, but I feel like Bronzong kind of just gets set up on by Volcarona, and T-Tar can knock it off pretty easily. So, we can get into what I've done. We're running Choice Band Palafin again, with enough speed to be faster than max speed Landorus, which is really good. I do expect the Landorus to go bulky. I'm going to do this. I expect the Landorus to go bulky versus me, but that's fine. I can kill it with any sort of Wave Crash or Ice Punch. I do have to have Jet Punch because this guy, it'll 2-shot this guy, and it 1-shots this guy, which is very important. Like, I need it to keep this guy in check. Close Combat's the last move. I wouldn't have had it if it wasn't for this Lapras, but I do want to be able to send in Palafin, and then maybe if I'm feeling spicy, I think he might go the Lapras. I can just Close Combat on the switch and potentially 1-shot it. Next up we have Kilowattrel. I am Scarfed, which is very important because I am currently slower than Tapu Koko and then all of these guys in the boost. This makes me faster than them. I would have loved to go Modest, but I do have to be timid in order to outspeed the Iron Moth at base 110. This guy's like 104 and this guy's like 106 or 8 or something like that. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Air Slash, Hurricane. This guy really just doesn't get any better moves. I guess I could do Weather Ball like I did versus, I think, Tomba or Sigtrick. I think it was Sigtrick. But, you know, he doesn't have his own weather, and my weather is, Rock is just not great, right? I guess I could have Rock for this, but that's about it. Yeah, but I'm running competitive, I think, versus Sigtrick. Sigtrick is definitely going to warn him that I do have Volt, or that I had Volt Absorb versus him, so I'm running competitive this time. His switch for Kilowattrel is probably his Ground-type Landorus, right? So if I can get that right, I can 1-shot it with Hurricane or 2-shot it with Air Slash if I predict the switch correctly. Next up I have Volcarona, which is honestly not necessary, but it can sweep pretty easily if I can get a turn to set up. I do need 2, unfortunately, against like Tapu Koko. It's the same sort of thing I talked about with Colin's Colin's Hippo into Dracozolt. But, like, if there's no stand-up, I set up 1 on the switch to Hippo, then I set up a second one on the switch to Dracozolt, which, like, lets me do it, because he has to go through Tapu Koko to get his other guys faster than me, which works as long as he doesn't have Thunder Wave, which he might, so I have to be careful. Otherwise, like I said, this guy's not necessarily in the endgame, because I feel like, I don't have any other real setup guys, but I do just have guys capable of breaking, and those guys are, like, this guy can do that, and then maybe Amoonguss could get a cheeky KO too. So this guy, at worst, I can just use him as a pivot for this, potentially trying to burn it, because if that gets burned, it's not that big of a problem. Next up, we have this really fun Tyranitar. This is probably my favorite Tyranitar set that I've run yet. Max HP, 8 attack, 64 special attack, 148 special defense, 36 speed, Lonely Nature. The speed puts me just faster than, like, no speed, maybe a little bit of speed Alomomola, and, like, no speed Lapras, which is really good, because I don't expect either of those guys to run any speed. I have Knockoff and Earthquake. Knockoff is just, you know, to remove items. I think it can one-shot this. And Earthquake is for these 2 in particular. Both weak to Earthquake, both probably die to it with the Expert Belt. And then we get to the real sauce of this Landorus, which is Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. Ice Beam is that if I expect him to switch Landorus, I can Ice Beam the switch and then it'll just die. And Thunderbolt is for the Alomomola. Alomomola has way less special defense, right? If we put it in, 80 to 45, so it's actually stronger than Thunder Punch from Tyranitar, because Tyranitar's like special attack is really not that low. it's stronger than if I was to have Thunder Punch on here. Thunder Punch. Even if it's like this, right? It's still stronger. Plus, there's also the potential that he has his Electric Terrain up, which boosts it to almost a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Guaranteed, actually, after the Sandstorm chip, which is really good. And then, like, obviously, Ice Beam and Thunderbolt both are a nice mid-ground for this guy. And Tyranitar basically is my switch for this, right? Like, he's going to go for a Dark move or a Flying move. T-Tar switches in on both. And then, depending on what I expect him to go, I go for Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, both of which cover the option of staying in, which is very good. Next up, we have my only real check for Iron Moth that isn't potentially sacking my Volcarona. And that's this. Fully Fizdef, Terra Fairy, Corsola. With Nightshade, Will-O-Wisp, Strength, Sap, Stealth Rock. I do feel like Stealth Rock is quite good, because I think this guy really wants to have Terrain Extender. And like I said, this guy could have like Meteor Beam, Power Herb, or something. You know, it likes to have the boots, but it's not necessary that it does. Will-O-Wisp, you know, is good into this, but I do expect, unless he's Swords Dance, he's going to attack and then switch out, just trying to get chip, which means that I'm going for Strength Sap first, unless he's, you know, Swords Danced, which is when it gets really scary. Stealth Rock, like I said. This guy's actually kind of crazy good into the team. The only guys that it really struggles into, Tapu Koko actually only does like 30%, even though I have no special defense. So I can just Strength Sap it. It's got really good attack naturally, so I just heal a lot. The big thing that I'm worried about is one of these guys having Toxic. That's the best answer into this. Which brings us to the next guy. This is like my dedicated switch in for, first of all, Coco. Coco cannot touch this unless it's Brave Bird, and even then it doesn't do that much. It also can switch in on like anything short of like Ice Beam, Alomomola, which is really only scary if it gets the freeze. I have Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Stomping Tantrum, Spore. And I've got like a ton of attack investment with a Bolt or Brave Nature, which is really interesting. But that Stomping Tantrum is a guaranteed one-hit KO on every Iron Moth that is getting booster special attack. Or booster speed, I mean. Because you do have to run some bulk, right? In order to get the booster speed. And that means you can't drop your speed at all, because then you'd have to drop more special attack, and you do want as much special attack as you can get. So that's the fun thing about playing against Iron Moth, is that you kind of know exactly what the EV spread is going to be, which is really nice. So I know exactly how much bulk it's going to have, which means I can pretty much always kill it with Stomping Tantrum. I have the Aqua Berry and max special defense. This is bulkier because my HP is so much higher than my special defense. That's more bulk. It does hinder me a little bit on the physical side, which is not a problem. Landorus is a big problem for this. Landorus hits this guy with Earthquake strong enough to hit KO it. But if it's attack invested, it gets me even if I'm physically defensive. So I figured this guy's just not my Landorus answer, right? Landorus is a problem for this team. I do have a Flying type, and I have Corsola. Corsola also doubles as my Landorus check. And that's just a problem with my draft, right? Like, my team does not have amazing ways of dealing with Flying types. Or of ground types, my bad. So I just hit them offensively with Palafin really hard, so maybe that scares them away. I don't know. Sludge Bomb's great on Tapu Koko. You know, it's super effective. It also, you know, hits Iron Leaves, which is nice. Like, he can't just go free into Iron Leaves on the Spore. And I guess we should address the Spore. Yes, of course, I'm aware that Electric Terrain blocks Sleep, but these two guys are Flying types, right? They're floating above, and this guy's Levitate, so... You know, for even though you've got Electric Terrain blocking Sleep, you've still got 3 guys that can be put to sleep in Electric Terrain. Also, showing the Spore means that he might be more inclined to switch Hard Coco in on this to you know, block a sleep from somebody. Unless, of course, Iron Leaves is still alive. But if I do that and I get the read correct with the Sludge Bomb, Coco goes down, which is a huge burden off my shoulders. But that is the squad, and we can hop into it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, let me just double check. Yep. Okay. And we got joined. Yes, we did. Okay, so. Landorus, Coco. Oh my god, I need to mute the Discord for like an hour. There we go. Okay. Iron Moth is here. Who is missing? Oh, that's not the right team. Here. Alomomola, yes. Iron Leaves is gone, yes. Okay, I did not. Okay, I need to say it too. Iron Leaves is not here, which is good. That was the one I was most worried about. No Cyclizar, no Spidops. No, the Bronzor I didn't prep for, which could be bad. Maybe. But I think I've got some guys that can deal with it. Oh, Alamomola lead. I did not expect that. Who is this? I just get Striga Mail. Human Squidward. Please, please go to Iron Moth. Okay, Bronzong. What about Psychic? I think it's okay. Cool. Do I go... Does T-Tar kill? It's gonna be Max Fizdef. I think I am still gonna go T-Tar though. Perfect! Dude, this is a great switch. Okay. Now. I mean, it could be Focus Blast is the problem. I got it wrong. It's fine. I am going to... I guess Giga Drain. He has Bronzong. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Bronzong in. This guy is going to be a little bit annoying. Zero turns asleep. Quiver up. Oh, it lived. Okay. What is it? Psych up? Oh, it's Rock Slide. Okay, that's fine. Definitely Alamomola, but this is fine. Okay, crit. It's Rocky Helmet, surely. Yep, it's fine. We're going Amoonguss again. So how much did it take from +1? How did it take so little? Oh, it's heat proof. It's heat proof. How did it die? Oh my god, substitute Landorus. That's actually quite bad. The substitute Landorus is a huge problem because my best answer into it is Corsola, and that shuts it down, like, entirely. How much HP does substitute Landorus have? Max HP, it is over 400. Yeah. Oh, it does break. Okay. The only problem is that this guy's coming at like 100%. I should have been Fizz Def Landorus. When Jugulus came out last time, what did it do? Oh, he doubled. He doubled. Damn. Okay, that's a shame. Alright, let's hope this has no special defense. Actually, I can check. Thunderbolt, or Ice Beam did... Yeah, no special defense. 6% chance for Thunderbolt to kill. Go in, go Shrigma Mail. I want to see Volt Switch. Go this. Go Iron Moth. That's exactly what that was for. Live. Kill this. Oh, it doesn't kill. Gotta sack the rock, unfortunately. This is very unfortunate. Jet Punch. This guy's in range. Yeah, this is. Once the Alamomola goes down, I can win off of Jet Punch. Sleep 2. It's gonna wake up soon. It's a big problem. It's coming in at 50%. Is that Wave Crash range on Alo? Yeah. I need him to stay asleep, I think. Okay, thank God. I'm not out of the woods yet. That's something, but not done. I think I actually still lose, because I think he just goes like anything. Maybe I live, maybe I don't. I don't know. I do live. Okay. Yeah, he's sacking something. Oh, I died to sand. Wait, what the hell did I die to? I guess sand, yeah. Yeah. and then Landorus comes in and cleans up. And that concludes week 6. Unfortunately, we did lose. The sub Landorus was just actually so good. I had Airborne Tapu Koko for Mega Chomp, yeah. The sub Landorus was just like the best thing. It was very good into my team. I didn't really have answers for it. I guess Volcarona could have been okay. I did have to sack it to get a bunch of Goop Chip on the Bronzong though. Anyway, stay tuned. Next week we'll be playing the Gateway Glaciers. We are we're guaranteed playoffs, I think, now that we have 4 wins. Very barely, but that's nice. So stay tuned for that. See you next time. Take care, and bye-bye.